Black women with white men last the longest.
So she's asking why interracial relationships, specifically between black women and white men, last longest. I have my theory here, and it's based in racism and intersectionality. See, it's my theory that women of color have to be the strongest out there because they have to deal with the most, which means that they are strong, they're independent, they are opinionated, and they don't take shit from basically anyone. White men, on the other hand, live in a social dynamic to where they're basically never questioned. They do what they wish, they think what they wish, and people just accept that as reality. So when a white guy gets with a black woman, they both are strong, they're both independent, but it doesn't cause the other one to feel like they're losing their power in the situation. So they both feel strong, they feel like their opinions are represented, and they feel more comfortable in that. And I mean, I could be completely off base. This is just my opinion. This is how I think things play off. I'm not a psychologist.
I have a question. Why do you guys think that is in comparison to any other interracial?
2 reasons. Number 1, everybody likes a little creamer in their coffee. Number 2, we got little wieners. So they know we ain't going nowhere because nobody else wants us.
Black women with white men tend to be the best combination.
Go watch her video and go look at the comments and stuff like that. It's actually super, super interesting because she's basing the whole discussion and conversation on actual statistical evidence on interracial relationships and marriages. I, however, wanted to propose a different question in the same sort of ballpark. And that is, and this is in my own personal experience and what I've, seen and overheard in my lifetime. Why is it that when it's a white man and a black woman, that the black woman almost receives praise for bagging a white man? But when it's a black man and a white woman, the black man gets a whole lot of hate for it.
It's because in some relationships, not all, between a black man and a white woman, it's rooted in the hatred of black women. It's not all interracial relationships, but that's where most of the hate comes from. It's just like, if you're gonna be with a white woman, be with her because you love her, not because you have some kind of hatred towards black women. Now, this is just my theory on this, so don't fight me for this. This is just a theory of mine. I think in order for a black man to get the bag from a white woman, he has to disrespect a black woman because a white woman have a secret hatred for black women.
Black women with white men tend to be the best combination.
Because when they go out for milk, they actually come back with it. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Oh, I'm about to go in on this one. And this comment section is not going to be used for those of you that want to get on here and just be like, black men just don't do this, black men don't do that, black women, blah, 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 blah. No, the comment section is going to be for genuine discussion. One of the main issues that I see is that a lot of black men are raised in environments, in situations where leadership is held by those that exert dominating power and or force over those under them. So if every figurehead, every leader that you have known throughout your life that has held any kind of significance has been someone that has executed dominating force to have a leadership position, that is going to imprint on your mind and is going to affect your personal relationships. So from a child, as a teenager, as an adolescent, as a young adult, all the way up until adulthood, this black man has seen nothing but those who lead have dominating force and or presence. And that forms the ideology. If I want to lead, I have to have power. If I want to have power, I have to exercise it over others to prove that my power is there. And once I have that power, I cannot let it slip away from me. Whereas a lot of black women are taught, go forth and seek power for yourself and do not let people wrench the power away from you lest you be rendered helpless. And then when you have these two opposing ideologies collide, you have the mess of relationships that a lot of black people find themselves in today. A man that feels as though he needs to protect and snuff out opposing powers to his own, as well as exert dominating force and power to show that he is of the leadership position. and a black woman that seeks forth to gain her own power and also not to have it taken away from her so that she is not rendered helpless. And the thing is, a lot of things become misinterpreted between the two, whereas a black man may see something that a black woman is doing as a threat to his power subconsciously, and something that the black man does may be a threat to the black woman's preservation of her own powers subconsciously. This is why a lot of arguments seem to start out of nowhere, because the thing is, it's being interpreted by each other's subconscious that there is a threat to my power, and that threat is coming from the person I'm looking at. Combine that with the fact that the majority of black men are emotionally stunted, as along with some portion of the black women population. We are abysmally poor when it comes to our ability to communicate effectively. Added to the fact that you most likely have two individuals who have never had a significant male figure in their life to show them structure and discipline. When they start comparing each other to the white counterparts, they do start to seem more favorable. Due to extreme differences in circumstances, of course, but the fact that most white men grow up with a father in the home means that they have a tempered, structured, disciplined version of what it means to be a leader in a household. Given the fact that a lot of white women have a father and mother in the household as they grow up, they get an idea of how they need to conduct themselves around men and how they can surrender quote unquote power to them in order to gain more power in a relationship that most men don't even notice.
Real question. Out of all interracial relationships,
Well, because they always go for the best ones. They never choose the hood rats or the ones that nobody else wants. They always choose from the top, never from the bottom.
real question. Out of all interracial relationships,
Ooh, please don't get mad at me. Listen, I'm just going to give the facts and then y'all do with it what you want. All right. But there's this thing called conflict resolution, and you have types of people. So they say that white women and black men have the same style, and that black women and white men have the same style. Now, I'm going to tell you what those styles are. And listen, I didn't come up with this. I swear, do not come in my comment section and harass me. I ain't make this up. You don't believe me? Go Google it. All I know is white women and black men are not confrontational. Whereas white men and black women will confront an issue. And because those two different types have the highest compatibility, that's why they gravitate to each other the way they do. Now, do with it what you will.
There is no misunderstanding the fact that he has much more social power than she could ever have.
This is very interesting. Explaining about how white men, they are fully recognizing that they have the most social power. And then understanding that if they're with a black woman, that she has the least social power out of anybody. The way I see it, though, for this is I'm making sure that I'm not making assumptions or putting words into this creator's mouth. Is that, yes, the white man is aware, like socially in reality, greater society, but within the relationship itself, because he knows his status outside, he doesn't do that within the relationship. Which, I would have to look at case studies and different surveys that have been done on white men with black women, what they've said about the relationship, the nuance and the quality. But time to time, when you meet a black woman with a white man, she has educated him about white privilege and educated him about the black experience. And he therefore relinquishes his power within the relationship to make sure that he's protecting her, and he's utilizing his privilege to do what he can, not only within that relationship, but also with how people affect her because he's with her and he loves her.